Even though I think that might be appropriate today.
Hard.
You got money in it?
Well, let's see. He had to send checks over the years.
I know, and I want some.
That was the, she said.
He sent the check.
Oh, it's for BBF. That is nice of him. We got the best listeners in America. They send checks. I'm like the pastor. I get checks in the mail. Yes, it'll stay in our locker.
No, I want to have it and put it on my.
And he got the best cards too.
I have that one. He sent me that one. This is beautiful.
The same guy that sends that Black Street.
Nope, nope. Keith, what's up, man? All right,
You said I'm
Zoe.
not sure.
I said not much.
Oh, I
Say
thought you
that
said
out.
I'm
What's
not
going on?
sure.
No, let's do intros.
You praying, Keith?
And then what's going on?
Yeah.
Oh, you know who's really mad at you?
Really, man?
Really mad.
Donald Trump.
Yes.
Yes, him too.
Okay. Oh wow.
Beyonce Fox is really mad.
Oh, my CC, my favorite.
She said you didn't call her and you had her number.
I do have.
Call her, please.
Tell her get in line.
We're going over. I got moves on this song. You don't want to sing?
Nope.
Haters! It's haters.
You're rocking with the Brunch Bunch right here on Inspiration 1390. It is my favorite day of the week. Every day above ground is a good day. It is Wednesday. That's WINS because we are winners. This is your main man, Action Jackson, and you're rocking with the Brunch Bunch, and I'm proudly posted with the queen of the dance move.
That's right. It's your girl Tamara Fair on the air, and I am super excited about Winning Wednesday, y'all. We got so much to share. You know what? Today is the best day of the rest of my life. How about yours?
You better talk about it. It's absolutely positively amazing. Anytime I'm next to you,
Yeah,
is a
you
good
must
day.
want something. It's all going down today.
Well,
y'all.
just stay 5 minutes after the show and I'll let you know. Now, listen, believers, we got a great show for you. What's going on is the mayor of the greatest freaking city. I got to be careful saying that on 1390. You know, the Saints may start sending me letters.
No, that's acceptable.
It's acceptable.
Yes,
All right.
he's coined it. It's fine.
Well, that is it. Mayor Brandon Johnson is joining us right now, right here on the Brunch Bunch.
Leaders Network has
You all
partnered
hear that?
with Lake Credit Union to
Yeah, I
increase
heard that.
access to financial services and funding for the residents of
You all just have
Chicago's
to smile.
community.
Good.
You always smile. Except when you were with Trump, I didn't see you smile once.
It's
Member-owned.
he has that kind of
where people
impact
come
on
first.
Yeah.
Enjoy high
Yeah.
yield checking, lower loan
Yeah.
rates, and resources for
All
home
right.
This is the worst.
payment assistance.
I've never seen it such bad, like literally.
Solutions that work for you. Call us today.
And if the
345.
crime is spiraling down trending, like why?
Zoe, drop what's going on after this one. Like,
That's
It's culture.
345-74.
Issues.
Partnership with
We don't
Great
need
Lakes
posture.
Credit Union. It's for serving people, not profits.
Peace of mind isn't something you wait for.
What's going
It's something you plan for.
Okay.
At the Brian P. Pickett Funeral Group, we help
It's really
families
nice. I'm
prepare with
afraid.
dignity and confidence.
I'm gonna display it.
Services that bring security, to financial literacy that empowers your future, to community partnerships that
definitely fundraising season.
we're more than a funeral home.
Yes.
We're your lifelong.
Already.
Call
Are they
777
donate to my campaign?
Oh, yeah.
777
Now, hey, can you host a
Let's start a
fundraiser?
conversation.
Hey, can you donate to a fundraiser? Hey, are you going to be in the
What matters
fundraiser?
most. Call 773-413-7774.
125.
The Brian
You know,
P.
you saw it.
Funeral Group.
I was going to say psychic.
No, it's 100. It's 122.
Prophetic.
120.
Where's the action, Jackson?
I'll tell you what's going on.
So what's going on is we have Mayor Brandon Johnson, who was sworn in as the 57th mayor of Chicago the day after my birthday, May the 15th, 2023. He's a proud West Sider. He began his career as a public school teacher at Jenner Academy in Cabrini Green and later at Westinghouse College Prep. There he witnessed firsthand how school closures, unemployment, and violence deeply affected students and families. He went on to become an organizer with the Chicago Teachers Union, where he built a multiracial coalition to defend neighborhood schools, push for equity and funding, and expand access to opportunity. He was elected Cook County Commissioner of the First District in 2018. Johnson championed the Just Housing Ordinance to end housing discrimination against formerly incarcerated people, fought for legal defense for immigrants facing deportation, eliminated the gang database, and helped secure investments in healthcare, housing, transit, and internet access under the budget for Black Lives. Today, Mayor Johnson and his beautiful black wife, Stacy, are raising their three black children in the Austin community, and his leadership remains rooted in the lived experience of Chicago's West Side. Let's give a warm brunch round to Mayor Brandon Johnson. I know when I said black wife, my argument when I'm out in the community, I'm like, you asked for a black man. We got a real black man with a black wife and black kids, and that is
Yes.
significant because you don't always see that.
And you know what else is significant? He's no stranger to fighting. And right now we need a warrior, and we do have that in
So
Mayor Johnson.
that is true. So we're gonna jump right in. Mayor Johnson,
Hey, what's going on?
you are making welcome again to the
Thank you.
Brunch Bunch.
Thank you very
Welcome
much.
again.
Thanks for having me back.
You are making national, international headlines, and it's not because you just look so nice, because you're going against some wicked powers right now, right? So, Mayor Johnson, with the Texas National Guard troops, yeah, we jumping right in, now deployed near Chicago under federal orders. How are you protecting Chicago's sovereignty and ensuring the civil rights of our residents, especially in majority black neighborhoods?
Yeah, what this president is doing is absolutely unconscionable. It's unconstitutional. It's illegal, and it's dangerous. Nowhere in the time of our history have we ever seen a president declare war on poor people, and particularly within our communities. And what I've done and what I will continue to do is use every single tool that's available to me to defend and to protect the city of Chicago. And whether that's through the sweeping executive orders that I've passed, one of which required our sister agencies and all of our city departments to not cooperate with federal agents with immigration enforcement, particularly if there's not a warrant, making sure our second executive order, ensuring that the First Amendment could be protected, because as you're seeing across the region, who are shooting at protesters.
Yes.
Protesters. Today, we just saw on social media a priest was shot in the head with a pepper bullet, and we want to make sure that the fundamental right to protest is protected. And then just this week, I signed my third executive order prohibiting the federal agents, particularly ICE agents, from using our city-owned property to terrorize our communities. And so I'm going to continue to stand firm, protecting and defending the rights of our residents, and that includes taking it to the court, which we have in every single court case or lawsuit that we filed against the president. We have won.
Mhm.
That he filed against us, we defeated, and we'll use the legislative body as well. But it also includes, as you all know, organizing on the ground. So it's going to take all of us to protect the city of Chicago. And I'm very humbled to be called to lead in this moment.
So the president has threatened to invoke the Insurrection Act and publicly called for your arrest. How are you navigating these political pressures while keeping the city safe and a united city of Chicago?
Well, first of all, this president has made it very clear that he has declared war on the city of Chicago, right? And he's declared a war on poor people, and it's unconscionable and unthinkable that this president has not only declared war on American cities, but he has declared war on our Constitution. And for him to even mention the word insurrection,
Mhm.
so he's very familiar with insurrection.
Oh yeah.
That it's hypocritical for him to even attempt to invoke such a thing. In terms of his threat, against me to arrest me. Look, I'm not the first black man
Mhm.
president uh, unjustly suggested for me to be arrested. And the way I'm navigating it is, first of all, is that we're not alone. I'm going into this fight by myself. You all know I come from a very large family. We take all battles collectively. That's why and working with the business community, the board president, governor, our attorney general, we're all the business community, came out in a very emphatic way, pushing back against this tyrant. So because we are in this fight collectively, there's a long history of pushing back against unjust practices and policies, legacy and line of individuals who stand up for the rights of people. And I'm happy to be in that number.
Wow. Well, you mentioned if the legal process doesn't block them, what's your contingency plan? And will you stand firm against federal overreach?
Well, of course, I'm going to stand firm against federal overreach. What we've seen, though, is that every single court has declared Trump's actions to be outside of the bounds and parameters of the Constitution. We just saw a judge in Oregon, and I spoke with the mayor of Portland, Mayor Wilson, and they're remaining and standing firm. And even after there was pushback from the Trump administration, the judge in the state of Oregon held up their position twice. The expectation is that the courts have to hold this president accountable. When the framers of this Constitution established the Constitution, there's a reason why there were three branches that were created to ensure that there are checks and balances. Now, look, I'm going to be as direct as I possibly can. These are unprecedented times.
Yes.
And it is clear that this president is not interested in upholding the parameters and the sanctity of our Constitution. That's why this fight has to be collective. If there were ever a time for working people to stand up together, this is that time.
And you mentioned that so many lawsuits have been filed and so many lawsuits have been won, and yet nothing is stopping this president. It's like a runaway train. So, what, in your opinion, do you see in the foreseeable future is actually going to stop these kinds of, I'm going to air quote, shenanigans?
That's a good question. And look, never in the history of America has a mayor a mayor has been challenged to push back against federal overreach, right? I mean, these are literally unprecedented times. I can only imagine how our ancestors experienced the civil rights era, or even, calling for an end to slavery in this country and fighting a war to do just that. I wish I could, predict, what the future holds. What I do know is that if we do not fight,
We won't win.
we're not going to win.
Exactly.
Right. And so, because here's a harsh reality: being on the right side does not automatically mean victory. But, today we're celebrating, one of the greatest human beings to walk the planet, his birthday today, Reverend Jesse Jackson.
Yes.
And when he put forth an agenda, running for president of the United States of America, had he not done what he did, we would not have black mayors and we would not have had President Barack Obama.
Yep.
It was his courageous leadership that changed the game. And it's going to take courageous leadership today to make sure that our young people and our children and our children's children can live in a democracy that respects the right for all of us to have a vibrant and healthy life.
So we often talk, people lie but numbers don't, right? And
Mm.
our president loves to talk about the fake news, but he uses it to his advantage. Stats show shootings and homicides are down nearly 40% this year. But people in Austin and Inglewood say they still feel unsafe. How do you bridge the gap between stats on paper and lived reality on the block?
Yeah, let me just first of all acknowledge the fact that we still have more work to do to build safe, affordable communities across this city. Now, look, I've been in office for just a little bit over 2 years, and I remember, and Marcel, you were there, where people said that if you elect me, crime was going to go up.
Yep.
They said that police officers would quit. Well, none of that happened. In fact, the opposite has happened, where we have revamped our detectives bureau, where there's stronger communications between our counterintelligence and chief of patrol and our detectives bureau, and we are solving crime in Chicago, and that's one of the ways in which we can deter crime by holding people accountable. And so now we have clearance rates as high as 70%. And to your point earlier, we had the fewest amount of homicides, the safest summer since 1965.
Wow.
right? While at the same time, we had some of the largest economic growth over the summer. We just saw 3.5 million uh, people booked hotels in Chicago. We had our airports set and break records. You have ridership on our public transportation is up. And to your point about the Austin neighborhood or just Black Chicago in general, and shout out, of course, to the Austin neighborhood, particularly 60644.
Woo, 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 woo.
Love you 5-1, love you 5-1, but you know, 44.
Fofo.
But there's still more work to be done this year. You know, we hired last year we hired 1,600 young people from Austin.
Mhm.
This year we had over 1,800 young people hired from Austin. And so to answer your question even more directly, the way we connect those numbers to people's reality is that there are other things that our communities deserve in order to feel safe. And this is the case that I've been making. If it's just simply about reducing violence, then you're not looking at how we define safety in our communities. If the numbers are reflecting that crime is going down, but people's material life hasn't changed enough,
Yeah.
that in and of itself creates the lag, right? And so that's why I'm investing in youth employment. We're investing in building more affordable homes, right? We're expanding mental and behavioral health care services because what kept me safe wasn't just um, less violence around me. What kept me safe is that my father had a W 2,
Yeah.
Hmm.
right? There was some reliability there. And so here's what we
And
experienced
accountability.
and accountability, right? You better believe there was certainly accountability from Andrew Leon Johnson the second. But what I'm getting at is that there are economic investments that have to meet this moment, particularly at a time in which President Trump is literally defunding every
Yeah.
single thing that helps create safer communities. He's defunding our education system. He's defunding our access to healthcare at a time in which I'm expanding mental health care,
Yeah.
at a time in which I'm adding more money to our public education system. There are more Black women who have lost their jobs because of Donald Trump, right? And so it's these type of disinvestments that, as the state of Illinois, the city of Chicago, we have to make sure that we are generating progressive revenue to invest in these communities so that we're not just talking about the reduction of crime, we're talking about the increase of
Yeah.
opportunity.
So, Mayor, there are people that come up and ask us because they think we know everything. We don't. But
I know a
when
lot of it.
but when the federal government is instilling fear
Mhm.
in
Mhm.
most or the majority of America, how does the city of Chicago, the state of Illinois, combat that fear? Because
Yeah.
the three are inextricably connected, but not necessarily work in tandem with each other and can have fail safe measures on the local and state levels. How do you explain that?
First of all, your question is just spot on, and that and the level of anxiety and fear that families are experiencing, it certainly doesn't help when you have Black Hawk helicopters
Mhm.
landing on top of apartment buildings in the South Shore community on the south side of Chicago, where Black families are awakened to masked men in army fatigue sticking long guns in their faces and stuffing them in vans and pulling their children out in the middle of the night and zip tying them.
Yeah.
Like that is just absolutely horrific. And so that's why, again, I'm working to use every single tool that's available to me, because in order to push back against this administration, we're going to need everything. And here's the harsh reality: these are unprecedented times. I mean, this is something
Yeah.
that we have not experienced. And so, what I'm simply offering is that I'm going to use my imagination, my heart, my strength. We're going to use all of the tools that are available to us to push back against this administration. And we cannot get weary. We're doing the work that transforms our communities. And when you are doing the well work, you can't get weary in it. And trust me, there are days and moments where, I pray and I talk to my cabinet members and I talk to mayors across the country. I mean, there are mayors right now who have no answers and they are looking to Chicago for
Mhm.
examples, right?
Could you tell them that me and Marcel are not the people, it is you? You got the answers.
Well, we don't have them all. I mean, let's just be honest, right? Can anybody point to a time in history where a president declared war on poor people and has used the ICE as his own private militarized force? Where you have Tom Homan, who was a so-called border czar, who took $50,000 in cash to direct contracts to detention centers that are ran by people who donated to Donald Trump's campaign. This is a corrupt, immoral, ungodly administration, and it's going to take a fierce response, a collective response to push back. And it doesn't mean that all of that fear is going to go away overnight, but I can tell you one thing, it's not going to go away if we don't fight and fight together.
That's true.
Yeah, listen, I know we are running out of time, but
Oh, already?
yeah, I mean, you can stay as long as you want, but look, they back there like, bro, cut it, cut it. No, listen, we know you got a lot to do. You running the third largest city in this country, and you are under attack by him in the White House.
And we're in a war.
And we end up,
We need our
unfortunately,
commander in
we
chief
need our
at the war zone in the
Mm.
situation room.
Mayor, there are a lot of misnomers. There are a lot of miseducated people in the community, and in 60 seconds, because they will swear you've been in office for 50 years and all these issues are your problem. But most of the stuff has been inherited.
Mm.
You didn't ask for this, but you're helping to lead us forward. Can you just talk about some of the things that you have done in this administration, you and your administration, that most people may not know, but they need to know?
Yeah, well, first of all, look, I know the challenge that we've inherited, right? Where we had administration after administration not paying to our pension system. And so we have, real significant debt liability because people have just kicked the can down the road. And in the words of an RB group, we have reached the end of the road now. And so we're going to address it, right? And, we've had issues with police misconduct. And so there's a great deal amount of money that we have paid out to settle these abuse cases. And so here's what I've worked to do. Here's what I promised to do. I said that we're going to invest in our young people. We've done that. 31,119 young people hired for summer jobs, the most significant increase that we've seen, quite frankly, in over a decade. We said we were going to reopen mental health clinics and expand mental and behavioral health care. We've done that. 3 mental health clinics, the one in Roseland. They said don't open it because they're not going to come. A year ago, there were about 5,400 appointments made.
Wow.
Today, there are almost 12,000 appointments that have been made
Mm.
at the Roseland Mental Health Clinic. And then we said we're going to build more affordable homes, and we're doing that. We just cut the ribbon a few weeks ago in Inglewood, for instance. It's the first housing development in Inglewood in 50 years.
Wow.
We just broke ground Cy Quantum on the southeast side of Chicago. That's the 10th and 7th ward, where that neighborhood has not been invested in over 32 years. Well, we have Cy Quantum that's coming to that community, as well as with Advocate Health, a $300 million investment, a brand new hospital on the south side of Chicago's coming. We just finished the vote on the 78 with Chicago Fire. We have not had development in the 78, that neighborhood, in over 50 years. And this is the first time we're building a brand new stadium. What am I getting at? I forgot to mention the 1901 project on the west side of Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
That's $8 billion. What am I getting at? We're talking about thousands and thousands of construction jobs and investments that we're making, rebuilding the infrastructure in our city, investing in our people, creating more job opportunities to build the safest, most affordable big city in America. We've been at it for 2 years, and I can't wait to all the things that we're going to accomplish over the end of my first term, and looking forward to serving well beyond today. So thank you for the opportunity.
Well, you heard it from the horse's mouth. Ain't that what I'm saying? It came straight from our mayor, Mayor Johnson. We're praying for you
Yes.
and your family,
Thank you
because
so
I
much.
know it's not just stressful on you, it's stressful on your wife and kids to hear all of the attacks. And I saw that disrespectful reporter
Yeah.
yesterday asking that stupid question. And, if you need a few West Siders in the room to flip
Oh my
just blink twice. We'll put them.
Well, Johnson, you mentioned several times that it's going to take a collective effort.
Yeah.
So, to the listeners that are listening, how can they plug in, like to the safety boards, the advisory councils, the community partnerships? How do they engage with your office so that we can formulate a firm collection?
Yeah, so we have a community engagement, operation. We'll make sure we get you, an email that folks can reach out to. So we are doing community meetings. The faith community has hosted many of these. Last night we met with 18 prominent Black women business leaders in Chicago. Every, you know, uh, discipline or industry, from law to construction
I didn't
to
hear you say
business owners.
childcare.
We're
Childcare,
still
no,
going down the list.
they're all in there, right? Because to your point, it's Black women that hold it down, for many of our communities, and so those type of business engagements are critical. But I think the other thing that we can do is let's get to know our neighbors again, you all.
Yes.
Organizing block clubs wasn't just about summer block club parties. It was about building safe communities and networks so that when things are going awry on our block, that first conversation, that first call is not necessarily 911. It's to the block club president to say, hey, we noticed something. So let's go out and make sure we hold people accountable. And so I'm going to show up for the people of Chicago. One thing that I'm never going to be afraid to do, and that's to work. That's what my father did. That's what I'm doing. That's what I expect from my sons and my daughter. And I believe that in order for us to build the safest, most affordable big city in America, we have to get to know each other better, and we have to be open to the variant positions and perspectives that people have. Because even if we don't agree on everything, one thing that I know that we all agree upon in the city of Chicago, um, we agree that everyone deserves to be safe and people deserve to live in an affordable community. And I want to believe that everybody believes that the Cubs are the best team in the city of Chicago. At least right now they are. So we'll see what happens tonight. But I want people to stay engaged with my administration and host town halls, host community meetings, organize your block, and we'll make sure that if people want to access, the services that we provide, that we'll get you that information.
And you do show up.
You do
You
show
do
up.
show
Hey,
up.
look, I live in the neighborhood, right? So people know where I live. They know my phone number. But that's just who I am, right? And that's what the people of Chicago deserve is a mayor that's going to show up. And I know, like, people have all their opinions, and there are people who may not always agree with some of the decisions that I've made. But I believe the proof is speaking for itself. We have violent crime going down in Chicago, building more affordable homes, expanding mental and behavioral health, looking out for our young people, investing in our public education system. These are the things that people said that they wanted. Development, black contractors having access to development. I mean, right now, President Trump is investigating or looking to withhold the dollars that we secured to extend the red line.
Yeah.
Now we've been fighting for that for 50 years. We get it done under my administration, and now they're saying, "Well, I don't know if we should be looking out for black people like that." That's essentially what he's saying.
Yep.
And so here I am showing up for the very people who've been disinvested in, and then now this president is saying that he's coming here to help make our community safe. How can you do that when you're actually taking the opportunities away from economic development in the very communities that you are ostensibly concerned about their safety? He is a lie, and
And he's alive.
I'm gonna stay
Stay
safe.
safe. Stay safe, man. Stay safe. But listen,
Thank you, Kenton Jones.
we thank you for joining us. Let's give it up for Mayor
Woo!
Brandon Johnson, mayor of the greatest freaking city, Chicago. We know it's no easy task, and you are at war spiritually, naturally, unfortunately.
Yes.
And anytime you go to war, especially in the Church of God in Christ, you got to have a war cry.
Yes,
It is Micah Stampley war cry right here on the Brunch Bunch. All right, we're gonna get a few quick pictures.
I see you, Marcel. Thank you so much. He said, "Get that war cry."
It ain't the one I was used to, but it's something. All right, man.
take the entire community. You don't want them in your community, you got to help get them out.
You see some of these Mexican kids.
Shut up, Jeremy.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's what you gotta do.
Yeah.
Running.
You can't be scared when you're in a war.
Take those kids and throw them as far as they're not police. They regular people. Yeah, they military. Take the keys out of the truck.
Who's not? Oh, ICE.
Yeah, they're not like.
But those federal agents are with them because
People are impersonating
Yep.
Yeah.
and raping women.
That's crazy.
there was a few
Because I doesn't identify.
Do we? No, we have.
What? We need stories, Justice.
Wait, don't we have? We have.
Stacy birthday today. He not coming.
Okay, Mama.
Hey, yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
The mics are hot. The mics are hot.
I hope you hear me. Holla if you hear me.
That's why we trust Secure Home and Automation. The experts in life safety and security.
Oh, there was no sound.
No, he muted when we went out.
So I'm gonna bring the beat in. Tina, you are crazy. We brought the beat in.
That's right. Call Secure Home and
10
Automation
seconds to
today.
interrupt.
66447-3344. Yeah, play a song, Zoe. 4733.
In the raw is me.
Last time we checked.
You can bring in the raw here.
You got some?
I mean, I always got something that's in my head.
I know. Okay, well. Play a little of this and then drop in the raw. But while Justice still get some stories or some hot topics. Did we print that Blue Cross yesterday? Print that again. Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna mute you all for 1 second.
The Blue Cross,
All right.
it was the event, right?
Yeah. DeJohn said the mayor. What's this dollar sign? Oh no, I don't want that popping up.
What's?
Yeah, no,
Oh.
we didn't print that out.
855-999-13.
If I wanted to say it out loud like that, then I wouldn't have whispered it to you all with your good telling self.
You know what? That is so true, though.
Stay safe.
They say we both started just saying it out loud as you whispering it right now.
Lord.
There is a
We can continue talking about. Yeah, I got it. Talking about Trump calling for their arrest, Pritzker.
For the who?
Mayor Brandon and Pritzker. There's a recent article. They were talking about what he just said about Trump.
That's what I want to talk about too.
What's happened? Who's the second? Who takes over for us?
Walter Burnett will be the next mayor.
See, that's
He's
not
the
gonna happen.
vice
No,
mayor.
I understand, but just
Well, I take that back. Anything could
Anything,
happen. Anything could happen.
The governor and the mayor have around the clock protection. The citizens of Chicago are not protected like that. We need the National Guard.
Is that Mark Carter?
That's DeJohn.
No. Mark Carter and Willie Wilson said, bring him.
Of course.
In fact, those two were some of the reasons why he came.
I don't know.
I do know. I wouldn't tell you, and they're proud of it. I mean, it's not a secret. It's not like I'm telling something that was told to me in private. They're proud of that because they felt like, and a lot of people in Illinois feel like that the stats are being misrepresented because the blocks are still hot. But
they not as hot as
the blocks are warm.
Yeah, it ain't hot.
definitely warm.
They're warm. But I mean, we've been hot for
But it's better than
We go warm at least.
it's better than hot. It's like lukewarm, Adam.
I mean, you can drink tea.
I live in the hood.
You can drink tea when it's warm. You can't drink hot tea. You got to let it cool off. It's
Right.
cooling off.
It's cooling up.
People are calling for like the National Guard and stuff to come in, like because I don't think people understand that these aren't the same, kind of groups of people because now Trump brings a different energy now. So
Trump's
now they just
energy,
think that
and
they can
this,
do whatever
you're
they want to
exactly
do.
right, Chloe, because that energy,
Chloe. Who is Chloe?
I mean, Zoe.
Stay safe. Stop drinking.
I constantly do that. I always call her Chloe first and then Zoe.
Justin sometimes.
Yeah, that's true. Like my auntie used
So,
to
do
say,
you drink before the show?
No,
you sound like,
just not.
you sound like that movie. Did you drink before you came here?
Okay.
So,
There's 2 minutes left of this song.
there was a shooting in my community the other day, but we all know
Who did it?
what it was about, who it was about, and all that. So it wasn't just a random shooting.
What's up?
Don't make it right,
Auto out now.
but
He knows.
we don't need National Guard.
That's what I'm getting ready to add.
Yeah, they don't protect us then.
Because if it really was about safety, you wouldn't be no knocking people's doors.
Yes, it's about flexing your move
Flexing.
because I can do
This
it.
is literally what Hitler did with the SS.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's literally what he did. Using.
Well, if you don't study history, you're bound to let it repeat itself.
Okay, so
People are very aware of what happened
And
in
there's some people I
Nazi
know
Germany.
that are probably
Very-
tuned in right now
That
that
they're
believe
like,
in all
"Oh,
of
why are
this.
you calling us Nazis? Whoa, relax. But if you point all the similarities out,
But the similarities are so
they're striking.
exactly,
Mhm.
and you cannot ignore those
Tina
similarities.
said the guards are not on the blocks; they are huddled in one place. So, what's their purpose?
That is true. They look like they're just.
They are on the blocks as well, and it's like they wait till nightfall.
Now, I ain't seen nothing on the block.
Well, I'm saying like around here at least, they just look like they're just standing around in circles.
But what's that doing?
That's what Tina said. Ain't nothing. What's the point?
What's the point?
Fear.
Right, to invoke fear.
Yeah, if I see military outside on outside,
He stunned his move. Is that what the young people say?
He's stunned.
Sure.
Okay, you can fade this out.
Yeah. Great interview, though,
Seconds.
Tammy.
Huh?
It was a great interview.
It was a great interview. I kind of went off script because, that's what I do.
Of course you do. That's why I did the script myself to help you stay as on it as you could, but I knew you would go off.
That's
But
right.
you went off within the conversation, though.
Always conversation.
Yeah, you didn't go off.
What about childcare?
Now, that's what I was worried about. Like, oh, Lord,
What about
let me make sure I put names on these scripts so Tammy can try to stay right in this area. 'Cause I don't want to divert the
What
tangent.
about childcare? But no,
Oh, we can start a
it's different
segment called
conversation.
Tammy's Tangent.
So we are super excited about the interview with the mayor today, particularly about the things that the city of Chicago are going through. And so we wanted to open it up to the general listening audience here on the Brunch Bunch and ask you, what is your opinion after you've heard that conversation? Mayor Brandon Johnson and the steps that he and the governor are taking to keep not just Chicago safe, but also Illinois safe. Do you feel like the presence, the military presence,
Mm.
definitely
Mm.
559991390.
What was the question?
You got
You know what?
you got
I thought my mic was muted and I zoned out. I heard a little bit, but I want to know because
is it flexing or is it actually attributing to our safety
So-
as Chicagoans?
so would you like our answers in studio first? All right, because Adam looked like he burning with a answer to that question. I think it's flexing. I think Donald Trump is just using all his power to show you that he has some power, and he has the Supreme Court on his side. So every time somebody takes something to court, they siding with him because them his minions, them his boys, they're his girls too.
Something about every one of the lawsuits they filed, they won. But yesterday we talked about the fact that there was a judge that held stay. And that judge could use. We'll see. So, but his stats are correct. One of those lawsuits had the real battle was a Senate community. This infiltration.
I wanted to add to, and maybe the court fights that he's talking about are on the local level courts, correct? So once Trump takes him to the federal level, that's when the ball is in his court, and that's what he's anticipating.
Yesterday, did a stay for so we were talking about this when we were off air. That one of the things that this has done is recognize the leadership in Chicago and in Illinois. Now, irrespective of what with this common ground. So the saying, my friend, right?
And in politics, it's not permanent friends nor permanent enemies, it's permanent interests. And the mayor and the governor have permanent interests to make sure that their constituents and the citizens of the city and the state are protected.
Absolutely. Actually contributing to our safety.
Tina said it's definitely not about safety. She's in West Inglewood and she has not seen not one military person, only her military black Santa.
You know, something very important that we know crime is. Crime is in 6% of the city, but we are not allocating enough resources to that 6%. Now, what he has effectively done in his administration is taken his own advice and allocated those resources on. So well, on the larger level, Pritzker and Johnson fight back after President Trump says that they should be jailed for failing to protect ICE. President Donald Trump recently stirred controversy by calling Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker and Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson to be jailed for what he described as their failure to protect ICE officers. My posture is, if you brought your officers here, you should have thought about that they needed protection. I thought they were here to protect. I didn't know they needed protection too.
So that's why he's saying, not that I'm on the side, but I get it. But he's saying he sent officers for protection. They should need protection, but he's saying that the citizens of Chicago and Illinois are attacking his people, and the city and state are not helping to keep them protected.
Yeah, but they drew first blood, like literally. So people in Chicago are different than people all over the world. You cannot find a commonality in the people from Ohio, the people from Wisconsin, and the people in Chicago. People in Chicago, they let you live, right? But when you encroach on their ability to live, they're going to fight back. So Truth Social, as the federal government ramps up immigration enforcement activities in Chicago, still stirring up controversy. So Pritzker pushed back almost immediately, characterizing Trump's demand as a threat to democracy. You heard Mayor Brandon saying that this is unconstitutional and that it is a gross display of power. And he framed it as an attack on elected officials exercising scrutiny over federal power, warning that the statement edges toward authoritarianism. Johnson, in turn, did not mince words. So on WBEZ, in the loop, he called Trump unstable, double-minded, and pointed out that this is not the first time Trump has advocated for the incarceration of a black leader. He also affirmed that his first duty is defending Chicago's interest. So 855-999-1390. Some of you might be afraid to call because you think that all of the airways are being monitored. I assure you that you are safe. 855-999-1390.
Nobody's safe.
Nobody's safe.
Listen, is it? I think it's ICE, not ICE. What department is ICE under? That is the Department of, well, find that department. Immigration. Department of Immigration has hired or hiring, I believe, 40,000 new people to now man somewhere to listen. Homeland Security. Homeland Security is hiring for people to come to an office building and watch social media, watch radio, YouTube podcasts, to do, start with some entrapment, because people are posting where they are and what they're doing, and that's how they're going to find them.
Well, I thought AI did all that. Why they got to hire 40 people in the aftermath of hiring a sweep of people across the country?
Well, this is why we often say that AI is not going to replace all the jobs, but there'll be tools, because AI will be helping them to scan, but they'll physically. And I read this report yesterday that they are actively hired. And I can't remember the number, but there has been a surge in ICE agent applications.
There's commercials on
Hundreds of
TV.
thousands of people are applying to be ICE agents.
Yeah, because hundreds of thousands of people lost their job, and ICE people are still getting paid.
And
These federal employees, federal employees have lost their job. They got to find somewhere soft to land that they can continue to maintain their families. But the president's post came against the backdrop of a complex legal and enforcement development. So federal prosecutors in Chicago recently dismissed charges against the couple carrying loaded firearms near the Broadview ICE facility and unusual movement that drew scrutiny. Meanwhile, in Brighton Park, a woman faces charges after alleging ramming a vehicle into the federal agents that were driving. So the incident turned even more contentious after body cam video emerged showing an officer uttering, "Do something, B," before firing 5 shots. This is getting really intense, though.
But I will say this. And no matter how mad you are, it's called peaceful protesting. And when you start breaking the law, then what happens? We say if you do it for one, you do it for all, right, Tammy?
We do say that, but see.
But no but.
No, it's not. It is a but. It is a but. It's
the but cancels out the first part.
No, it doesn't. But see, when you're being peaceful and someone is aggressively confronting you, is your peace still a weapon that you can use?
Dr. King said, turn the other cheek.
You do, but then in this climate, you get that one slapped too.
But what you just said in Brighton Park, a woman faces charges because she allegedly rammed a vehicle that federal agents were driving. I don't condone. They were not. They weren't the aggressors in that. She rammed them. The other one calling her B doesn't, name calling. We teach our preschool students that just because they called you a name,
sticks and stones
may break my bones. Which words do hurt.
But
they don't hurt you enough to make you slap first. You got to be able to say, now hit me and I hit you back is what we were taught in the hood, But
no, you just said turn the other cheek.
I said in peaceful protest. We're talking protest, and the parallel is Dr. King and the civil rights movement. Now, Malcolm X said...
Protests start in the kindergarten classroom.
Malcolm X said by any means necessary. I didn't say whose side I'm on. I'm just saying, if you ram a federal agent's car, you going to jail.
To jail.
If somebody call you a B and you push them, they're still agents of the law. They're still law enforcement.
That's true.
But
what about on 75th Street when they were zip tying those children, and one of the residents asked them, "What are you doing to the kids?" "We don't care nothing about those kids." But we got a caller on the line.
All right, caller. I'm not laughing at this conversation.
Yes, you are.
I'm laughing at Tammy. But caller, what's your name and what do you have to say?
My name is Susan, and I was actually the lady that won one of the Benzino packs, but I couldn't get a hold of you guys, so I got to talk to somebody after the call.
I guess yes, Susan. We'll get your number.
Okay, great. How is he saying that we're attacking his people when they're in full military regalia? And I'm saying regalia like they're dressed up for a parade, but they're outfitted for war. I mean, they're literally outfitted for war. They've got the bills, got the sticks, they got mace, they got long guns. What are we doing? We that bad in Chicago? I guess we are. That's good. But we're fighting with hands, right?
Yeah.
Hands and feet and pushing, maybe. So how is that equivalent to your long gun, your billy club, your mace, and your buddies?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The fact that you have no boundaries.
Very good point, Susan.
I saw some things on social media. When this came out of September 11th. I'm like, where did that come from? Came out of September 11th. And remember how September 11th was? It was like they could whisk you away. They didn't have to give you any kind of Miranda rights. They didn't have to tell anybody where you were. You could be hidden. They could lock you away. Didn't have to tell anybody under the guise of, protection of America. I forget the exact phrase. But so ICE that's how they work. And from what I understand, they get paid per person, so they don't care. They don't care, you got an afro, you going somewhere.
Oh, they getting paid per person?
That's news to me.
From what I understand, per person. And what is that? The bonus to get on is either between $10K and $50K.
Yeah.
$50,000 is a bonus to get on.
I ain't gonna lie, Susan. I almost applied to be an agent for that $50.
Well, that's incentive enough to get. That's incentive enough.
Yeah, but somebody was saying, well, I shouldn't say this, but not everybody can necessarily be overly cooperative in that role if they don't necessarily agree with what's going on. Some people are gung ho about what they're doing, and others are actually trying to follow the law. But apparently, they're kind of lawless, and I'm still trying to get information about this. But trying to kind of rein them in and have some place that they're accountable to, that's kind of slippery from what I understand.
Well, thank you so much, Susan. Let me just fact check you for one moment, though. They are not paid per person, and there
are some bonuses and overtime, but not per person. And Susan, I want you to call 7. You got just stay on the line. We'll get your info so we can get you that Zeno.
Thank you, Susan, so much. Your comments were excellent. Thank you so much. We have another caller on the line.
Caller, what's your name and what do you have to say? Oh, no other caller. They hung up. Well, listen, I'm afraid for the day when the Trump administration announces that they are going to pay bounties to individuals for turning people in.
Well, it's coming.
I already know. So that's what I'm afraid for.
Because, Pritzker showed this video footage of a recent raid, the one in South Shore, for example, where the children were reportedly removed from their homes in U-Haul trucks while without clothing. They were naked, and the U.S. citizen was zip-tied and dragged out. So it is not a far reach for them to start putting bounties on people. And what Susan said, and then institute that per person pay.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Tina said that makes no sense. You have AR-15s. Why do you need Otis to protect you?
Exactly.
I mean, I get it. But I'm saying to everybody listening, if you're going to protest peacefully. Do not antagonize the agents. Do not assault the agents. Don't spit on the agents. Don't do none of that. Just go and have a peaceful protest. Because when you antagonize them and they do something back, the question I used to ask, I go home and say, so-and-so did something to me, and my mother and father would say, what did you do to them?
Yes, but I'm glad you said that, because these altercations are fewer with protests and more so with citizens that are not in protest mode. So those children that they knock and pull them out of that 7500 South Shore Drive street address, they were not protesting. They were in their homes.
But they didn't attack the officers either. I didn't get stories of them attacking officers. So that's the difference.
My point, though, is that they are attacking first. And my other point is that people are going to save their lives. Literally self-defense, because you don't know who's the same thing with people that came in and killed. That wasn't Sandra Bland, the young lady that was in Louisville. Anyway, they shot her up. She didn't know. She was watching TV with her boyfriend. So you're going to try and save yourselves and save your children. But this is a lot. This is a lot. So the overarching message here is be strategic, walk in pairs, make sure that you have everything that you need, and avoid. You can look and see where the heat lamps are. You can see on the maps where ice is. Avoid those places.
Yeah. And we definitely are praying for this country, because the direction that we're going in is not one that we ever imagined we would be in. And I said it yesterday, and I'm going to keep reiterating it. It has not even been a full year since Donald Trump has been in office. We have another 3 years, and it can only...
Everybody in the studio is grunting.
I know. It can only really get worse,
But authoritarianism is so reminiscent of what we're experiencing right now. People are afraid to make the correlation, but facts are facts.
That's it. Well, listen, we are out of time, but we're never out of content. Don't forget, next Tuesday, the Birth Equity Conference. You want to go to bcbsil.com/Blue Door. Make sure you register. There are a few spots available. Free breakfast, free lunch, and great conversation. But as we close, like we do each and every day, we encourage you to keep Love 24 alive. Tell someone that you don't know that you love them. Tell someone that you do know that you love them. Love will begin to spread like a wildfire. Hopefully it spreads all the way to the White House. Tamara Fair on the air, I love you.
Action Jackson, I love you.
Believers, we love you. Baby Eminem, we love you too.
Mariah, I love you. Y'all, stay optimistic.
We get it done Monday through Friday, 12 to 1, right here on the Brunch Bunch. If you miss anything, call 773-345-7441. That's 773-345-7441. And let us know, and we'll get the information to you. We out. Oh, yeah. Just so you get her information.
Yeah, because she has to get that to the You guys, thank you so much. What a great interview. What a great day. Stay safe though. We're praying for you on the highways and byways, making sure that every single thing that you're doing, you're covered by the blood of Jesus. And you guys stay in prayer.
He
Peace.
sounded like somebody was ready for the mic.
He
Right?
shot it.
He scared me.